because we just see this vicious cycle of people being allowed to apply to as many jobs as they want. And so they do. And these poor recruiters are just flooded with way too many applicants. Most of them are unqualified. So they end up ghosting like a ton of the people looking for work, who just only get more desperate and apply to more jobs. And the cycle just keeps going and going. It's awful. And so we're like, how can we design this to like prevent that cycle from even happening? And so not just putting limits on things, but the other big breakthrough we had was accountability. What I really mean is stats. I think people like stats. You know, people like score. We have no ambitions to be judges or police, you know, like at all. What we thought is like, there's no accountability, you know, like if a recruiter is ghosting people, there's no consequences. Nobody's holding them accountable. If someone's applying for a bunch of jobs and is ghosting the recruiters, there's no accountability either side. That's really weird. And some job boards provide some accountability on one side, and you can really tell who's more important when it's like, oh, the recruiter's response time and stuff is all displayed, but you don't see the candidate's response time and stats, right? It's like, oh, we're like, okay, everybody's stats. Now, we're also big into like people's personal privacy and boundaries. And so we're like, okay, if you're advertising your services or your job or whatever, you don't have that same right to privacy. Anybody who wants to look at your job, they can see all of your stats. They can see your response times. They can see if you're ghosting people and all that stuff. Now, we're also trying to design things like anti-ghost type stuff where like everybody's required to respond. Ultimately, you can't make anybody do anything. So at the very least, we're going to keep count of how many people applied for a job, and then there was never any message after that from that candidate to the recruiter. That's going to show up.